welcome to the official podcast of Jonesboro Wrestling, the Power of Pro Wrestling. This is Robert Red.
I'm Chris Heineken. Thank you guys so much for being with us. And guess what? Let's not waste any time. Let's get on into it. Raw, Impact, SmackDown. Yes, true. What do you think of Raw?
Well, Raw this past week I wasn't very excited about. There wasn't really a whole lot that really caught my excitement. I mean, the main event may be noteworthy to talk about with it being, six-man tag, or am I right on that?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot noteworthy. I mean, it was very much a bland Raw this past week. So, I mean, there wasn't really anything that excited me. I mean, was there anything that you wanted to mention?
Well, it was the storyline is interesting between John Cena and the Authority, especially for the fact that when a lot of people will expect Cena to go for the win after hitting the attitude adjustment, instead, he was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, take all the glory. And surprisingly enough, he made the hot tag to Reigns, and Reigns come in like a house of fire and cleans everybody's clock, and 1, 2, 3, 6 man's over. I mean, that was the interesting thing to me.
Okay, so you want to move on to Impact from this past week? I mean, anything good you want to mention about Impact?
Oh, whole lot of notes right here, my friend. Whole lot of notes. Raza Bram and Magnus being really, really good. Interesting concept with Sam Shaw and Gunner. Bobby Roode, EY, extremely competitive. Oh, you already know about the 6-way X Division match. Awesome. Chicken in the bucket as far as Rhino versus Spud. Very competitive between X Division champ Joe and world champ Lashley. But match of the night goes to those awesome knockouts.
Yeah.
Awesome title match.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you said. That was probably the best match of the night, was the whole Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim. And you can tell you have a good match when your fans are saying this is awesome and all the chants they were doing.
Especially during a women's match, and they were chanting, they're not divas.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's great. They really did present a good match. And the Lashley and Joe match for the main event was good. And then, obviously, the EY Bobby Roode match with Bobby Roode coming out as the #1 contender. So, I mean, Impact to me was a lot better than Raw. And that's kind of sad to say, but, I mean, it's kind of the truth. Okay, Cornbread, anything you want to mention about SmackDown?
Well, it was almost like a recap show in my opinion. But, it's just hyping up, Night of Champions in Nashville. That's pretty much all that stuck out to me. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously, SmackDown had some good moments. I mean, the main event match, and I believe it was a multiple tag match as well. So, I mean, the main event obviously was something good to mention. So, something also I do want to mention as well.
Yeah, throw it in there.
If you are wanting to sponsor us, we do have a Patreon page to where you can sponsor us. And also, as well, if you don't want to become an official sponsor, if you just want to give, you can give that as well. So, I think that's all the time we have for this, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Heineken.
And I'm Robert Red.
And we are the host of the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast, PPWP, the wrestling podcast for the wrestling fans. We're currently looking for sponsors. If you or your business is interested in sponsorship for this podcast, you can contact us via email at jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. That's jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. So just chill out, enjoy the show, and thanks.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Red.
I'm Chris Heineken.
And our show can be heard on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand.
Download the free app today.
You can listen anytime and anywhere.
Stitcher is an award-winning free app that lets you listen to all your favorite shows, plus discover from 2 to 20,000 news, entertainment, and sports shows.
You can even create custom playlists.
Over 20,000 shows to discover.
You can rate and review the show on Stitcher.
Also available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
And along with that is in 4 million car dashboards.
And it's on demand and on the go.
No downloading, no syncing, and no wasted memory.
Stream your favorite podcast.
Well, if you don't have Stitcher, you can download it free today at Stitcher.com or in your app store. And we're back with the Power of Pro Wrestling. This is still Robert Red.
And I'm still Chris Heineken. Yes, we're still here. So we have some awesome topics we need to get to. So Robert, kick us off.
Okay, well, as you know, this is the second part of the show, and it's discussion time, and we always do 3 questions. So the first question that I'm going to kick us off with is with the recent signing of Kenta and Prince Devitt and all that, kind of the question I wanted to kick us off with is, has the success of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk really helped contribute to more indie guys being signed? So I want to kind of let you start us off and get your opinions on that.
I would say yes. I would say yes and no. And the reason I would say yes, because now that since a lot of people kind of are familiar with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's moves, and Daniel Bryan and CM Punk both go back to their, their predecessors, of them becoming stars like a Hiroshi Tenzan in Japan and a Kenta. I think WWE is kind of, I would say they're trying to shift their style to more hybrid and more receptive of a whole lot more styles than just sticking to one particular one. And I would say no. I mean, that's my yes part of the question. My other part of the question is no, simply for the fact that it's not just the success of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk that led WWE to hiring more indie guys, because it's more of WWE and Jim Ross, who used to work for the company at the time, looking at box offices from all the other countries. So I would have to say yes and a no on that one. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to say yes. I mean, with the mention of the way I started out with this topic of the signing of Kenta and Prince Devitt and stuff like that, I think WWE has seen success with CM Punk and him being a box office draw and Daniel Bryan being a box office draw. I mean, especially with WrestleMania, with them literally having to change plans of not having Randy Orton and Batista in the main event alone, but having to throw Daniel Bryan in there after defeating Triple H. I think they have realized the success of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and more of these indie guys that has caused them to where they want to recruit more indie guys and stuff like that. But I know Triple H has said that he doesn't want to recruit any guys that have bad habits, but I think Daniel Bryan's success and CM Punk have allowed them to look more at indie guys and start recruiting that way instead of
WWE and WCW. Nitro started September 1995. Raw started January 1993. The question is, will there ever be another Monday Night War?
Wrestling Monday Night War at that.
Wrestling one, excuse me.
Well, I mean, at that, my answer is going to be no. Or at least not at this present time. And that's kind of sad, because if you do go back and look at the 90s, which is considered to be probably the best time in professional wrestling.
And sports.
Yeah, I mean, even sports, if you want to broaden out the topic. Obviously, what made the 90s and stuff so good was the wrestling war between WCW and WWE. And what was great about it was they were literally competitive, and they could be competitive because Vince had money to run a good show, and Ted Turner, being an opponent, came along in 95, like you mentioned, after all being on the air in 93 for a couple of years, and was able to literally compete. Well, right now, TNA doesn't have the financial resources. Ring of Honor, although they're owned by a media conglomerate, Sinclair Broadcasting, really don't have the resources to compete with WWE. So I really don't think there will ever be another Monday Night War in terms of wrestling. And that's sad to say, because it makes the product so much better when it is competitive. And I want to take this outside of wrestling. And the most common analogy, I think, is Walmart is only as good as Kmart. If Kmart's not any good, then Walmart's not going to be at its peak level. If it doesn't have the true competition that it needs to thrive, then it's not going to be as good. And I think that's what's hurting the product right now, is that there's not a competitive nature, that you don't have a true number two that can compete with WWE to make them thrive. So I don't think there ever is going to be another wrestling Monday Night War. So what do you kind of think on this, Mr. Heineken?
I say no, but I'm gonna take a different route.
Okay.
Times have changed, because look at all the elements that made the 90s popular for wrestling. I mean, granted, before you even had Monday night, you had the success of Memphis Wrestling on Monday nights. Then that's how WWE springboarded into being the king of Monday nights along with WCW. And then you throw ECW into that mix. There were a lot of factors, but because of the fact that times have changed, because you see it in the product. You see it every Monday night, every Friday night. You see it on pay-per-views. The times have changed. And I don't think, and money-wise or not, I think there will be another time when there probably will be head-to-head. But I think right now, just because of multiple outside sports factors that are coming after wrestling to kind of put them out, I don't see it happening. I see it more of, hey, we're working together despite rival promotions. We're working together to keep the ship going. That's the way I see it. Yeah. So I say times have changed.
Yeah, and I mean, to piggyback off that, I mean, Dixie obviously is not a competitive person like Eric Bischoff and Ted Turner were in the 90s. So, I mean, I definitely agree that it is more a collaborative effort to work together than try to, let's put WWE out of business, or WWE trying to put TNA out of business. So,
and just very quickly, just to piggyback off that, I think it's more of, hey, we're looking out for our product. We want to do what's best for us, not trying to compete with anybody else. Granted, competition's there, but it's all about getting our products better and get people watching our product.
Okay, well, we do have a few minutes left in this segment, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on this as about social networking. Now, we have seen how it has impacted other sports, so I want to kind of get your thoughts on, does social networking hurt professional wrestling?
If you're promoting an event, no. If you're talking about the inner workings of the company and who's going to be this guy and who's going to be that and who's going to be the champion and who's not going to be champion, then to be honest, social networking does hurt, because wrestling is best when you're there at the show live and you can feel the emotion of the wrestlers even as a fan, and vice versa. All due respect to social networking and media, a lot of the backstage stuff, I mean, in my opinion, personally, I really don't care for it. I care for the in-ring product. And if it's an advantage for a wrestler to promote the company rather than promote, this is going to be a bunch of crap just because this guy going to be the champion and this sucks, then, I mean, it's great to have your opinion, but I would rather see it live and in person. So I would have to say it's best not, I mean, it's for promotional purposes, I would have social networking. For backstage purposes, not.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of presented this question in terms of kayfabe, which I won't really get into the definition of, but social networking, I just think, hurt wrestling in the terms of what you said, that I think it overexposes the business a lot, and it doesn't keep the mistake of professional wrestling. It tends to not allow us to suspend our disbelief into allowing us to think that it is real when we know it's not. It doesn't allow us to suspend our disbelief. If you do use social networking in the right way in professional wrestling, and you are using it to promote the events and stuff like that, and you don't really get into the inner workings of the business and stuff like that, then I think social networking can be a good thing in terms of advertising, marketing, stuff like that. Social networking is good, but if it's going to reveal too much about the business, it does take away the mystique of the business, and I just think it hurt in that way. And that's really where I wanted to approach this topic from, was that it's taking away from wrestling in terms of the mistake is not there, that wrestling, it just seemed to make it as good because of the involvement of social networking.
I mean, but does it have to be mystique, or could it be more of a little minor tease to lure you into going to the show?
Well, I mean, if you use it that way, I mean, obviously it's good. But, I mean, taking social networking, I feel a lot of times takes away from the mistake. But I do want to wrap this up because we have kind of ran over on time.
I don't think we ran over on time. I think this has just been an interesting podcast, and I think more people are about to get into the next segment, which happens coming up next. It's Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire!
Stay right where you are.
Yes, stay right with us. We'll be back from a quick commercial break.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Heineken,
And I'm Robert Red.
and we are the hosts of the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast, PPWP. And yes, we have a little special announcement for everybody that's viewing us on Stitcher and all the other media outlets. Get ready. The video version of this podcast and more will be available soon. Picture all the topics that we discuss here on this podcast, or every podcast that we've ever done. Well, visualize that in a video sense, and you get what we're talking about. So coming soon, it will be the Power of Pro Wrestling. It'll be a 1-hour debate, strictly for any and all sports fans and wrestling fans. So if you're a sports fan, or you're a wrestling fan, or a wrestling fanatic, and you want something that's different, that's cutting edge, that's absolutely insane and off the board, why don't you join Robert Red and Chris Heineken right here? We'll have more details coming in the future. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast alongside the way above awesome Robert Red. I am Spreadable Cornbread Chris Heineken. And yes, it is Rapid Fire!
Rapid Fire!
Fire!
Fire! I just love doing that.
And in this one, put your caps on, and I want everybody at home to be listening to this. This is a deal or no deal concerning wrestling factions. And here this goes to you. If you were the matchmaker or owner of your own major national wrestling company, and you had to bring back a wrestling faction from the past or present, which one would you hire? And this is another deal or no deal response. I'm going to throw it at you. DX, deal or no deal?
Well, I mean, obviously, deal. I mean, you can look at their success, since we mentioned earlier in the podcast about the Attitude Era and how successful they were and how many times they have been reincarnated. So, I mean, I would definitely say deal on this one.
Market-wise, deal. No, any other deal-wise, I'll go another deal. Hart Foundation.
Well, I mean, the Hart Foundation were awesome. I mean, I loved Brett. I share a birthday with Owen. So, I mean, I did enjoy the Hart Foundation. Depending on where I was running and how I used them, I mean, I think they could be a great asset. So, I would say a deal for them.
I'll say territorial-wise, if this was Canada, major box office, even in WWE box office. So, I would say deal. ECW's Triple Threat.
Ooh, the Triple Threat. Now, I mean, I like Douglas and stuff like that.
Douglas, Candido, and Bigelow.
Yeah, I mean, with those three, I do like them. I never saw them as necessarily main event stars, and that's not knocking them. But I'm going to go no deal on this one.
I will go deal, just simply for the fact that you have the toughness of Bigelow, you have the technicality of a Shane Douglas, not technicality, but pretty much the in-ring psychology of a Douglas.
Technician, what you're trying to say?
Yeah, technician of a Douglas. And you got more of a technician combination hybrid style of a Candido. So I would say yes. Ravens Flock.
Ooh, well, Ravens Flock, I mean, they were interesting in WCW, and I mean, I love Raven and stuff like that. I don't know what kind of box office they would have in the modern day, so I really do a deal on them or not. They're an iffy for me.
If it was the 90s, I would say deal. Because of the time change, I would say somewhat deal, but leaning towards no deal. Ring of Honor's decade, meaning Jimmy Jacobs, BJ Whitmer, and Roderick Strong.
I mean, I like those guys. They're a great heel faction. So, I mean, and if I was an indie promoter, I would definitely have them on. I don't know how well they would do on the big stage. So, I mean, that's another one I would be kind of iffy on.
I was just said in all the names you just named. And the last one. Woo! The Four Horsemen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this goes to DX. They've been brought back in several different incarnations, some good, some not so good. So, I mean, obviously a Four Horsemen group or a faction in this current era, I would love if it was put together with the right superstar. So, I mean, deal on the Four Horsemen.
I would say deal on any incarnation of the Horsemen because everybody knows of the of the hard work that they put into it. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this program, but we do want to remind you, we appreciate you being here with us on Stitcher. Whatever you have to do, hey, sponsors, we're looking for you. Contact us, email us, jonesprowrestling@gmail.com. And guess what? Join us each and every week for another great wrestling podcast. Until next week, for the way above awesome Robert Red, and yes, I said that in real life because that's the real truth, I'm Spreadable Chris Heineken. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us next week. Same time, same place, same channel.
And thank you guys for joining us. We'll catch you next time.